It's a great day, my YouTube friends out there. I hope all is well with you as it is with me. And I hope that you get a lot of the out of this conversation here. I just had to focus in on Trump um, and the problem with the, the rhetoric against him and um, the things that we're experiencing in here in the United States, here in our country. Um, Comparing all of that, and I found this article here, and I thought it was quite interesting. Hopefully, you can hear me all right out there, and everything's okay. Um, but I thought it was interesting because, you know, to me, to a certain extent, how do I say this? I'm trying to think. I'm going to go over this article and then I'm going to go over some things what, Trump stands for and what the society now that we're in stands against. But I understand that both sides get played and there's a ultimate controller for everything. And that's the problem is that hand that controls everything is not a stable hand that is naturally supposed to be there, put in place naturally to stand at the gate of anything, really, as far as I'm concerned. Because the way I see the condition of the place that we live in now, um, and are we the last of the Mohicans? That's just a question that popped into my mind when I think about why are people fleeing their countries? Why would you flee the countries when every country has the potential to be great? Every place has the potential of greatness. Propaganda propaganda tells us that America is the greatest country, but that is to sell it off to people. But not only that, not only the greatest country, but it also is propaganda to be it's a lot of propaganda behind it talking about freedom, which is something that the citizens who's been here for since way before America was here, um, when those came over to colonize and conquer lands from the original people, they did not get the freedom. They got most of their freedoms. You got to think. You had to you had to steal someone's freedom in order to gain their freedom. So someone in the midst of it all had to they didn't sacrifice. I'm not going to say they sacrificed their freedom, but it was stolen. It was taken from them. And once that was done, it's done. You can't go back and turn the hands of time, but you can make sure that those things never happen again. And freedom doesn't mean you do whatever you want. That's a problem. That's what people think freedom is. You can do whatever you want. You have choice, but some choices are just not within principle or take other things in consideration whatsoever. And that causes harm, that causes more destruction than anything. So when we think about, people having problems with certain things, like they have problems with dictatorship, with communism. They make communism out to be something bad when, everything has its good and bad about it. Um, Not in this particular article that I'm looking at, despite drift towards authoritarianism, Trump voters stay loyal. Why? When we look at the state that America's in now and how those that are in leadership positions have been laxy-daisy about certain things that are of most importance in a civilization, of course. Every country has its potential. I'm going to say that again. Every country, I don't think, I mean, I haven't fled my country, America, to go anywhere else, but there's been, like I say, I'm going to say it again. The propaganda is real. And you got to question why. Who would do that? Steal land and then put propaganda out there to have people running into a place that doesn't even give their own citizens the things that other people from other places are able to get easily. So basically, there's no authority in that position of check and balances, and when it comes to that law and order within that area whatsoever. And this should tell you why, for Trump, there's so much against him, at least in the fake news arena. That's all you're going to hear is bad things, because we know who runs, we know who's in charge and who's in control of the media. So let me dive into this. Okay, so they said, now this may be an old article. Let me see what year this was. What's this? Okay. Yeah, this was December the 7th, 2020. The silent majority stands with Trump. Okay. Despite his other, they say, authoritarian tendencies, you see, you need a certain authority. You really do. You always need certain authorities, figures in certain positions. If you don't have authority, then things are not going to be ran properly, And of course, we know the beginning of America, there wasn't ran properly at all. For you to come in and take other people's land, kill people because of your own selfish needs. So, as we see, law and order was the ultimate thing that should have been, the top tier of the um, voters ballot when it comes to president of the United States. Because that in itself is a form of protection of something. What people stand for over here in America. Like I said, we can't go back and change the past, but you can do better in the future. That's all you can do. What's done is done. And what needs to be done at that point is ensuring that um, the culture and the people are protected. But when you open the gateways to all and any, you bringing over some energies and causing a lot of issues. Because just after President Trump left office, the Democrats who are so much in support of the Black community called the Black community predators on Asian people. Then they have only discussions on why we don't deserve reparations, and then turn around and give reparations to people, fictitious group of people who never really had any crime against them from Black people, but they immediately got taken care of. Immediately. So the floodgates are open, and we see that, like they said, this is a melting pot, right? Propaganda, and they have sold with their propaganda well a lie that can be anything far from the truth for the citizens of the country. Because never, nothing's ever been rectified. They love to keep people under wage and keep prices high. How can you make a living? See, excuse the noise. You see what I'm saying? It's a mess. And then they talk about, it's just all over the place right now to me, for me. So they want Trump it's already been said that he will be president, right? The last president. But you do have you do have people that are fighting tooth and nail, and you got to question, why are they fighting so hard for this man not to be president again? You got to question that. Why is it so much hate and fear for this man? You got to ask yourself that. Why do they use spruce so much propaganda all the time? Not only just about Trump, but they do it. We know about various things that they disagree with people they don't like and hate or detest, that are trying to do the right things and move the world forward in progression. Let me go back here and get rid of the. You know, so basically, let me see. Political positions of Donald Trump. You know, you can, it's like we go in circles. I'm telling you, I warned you guys a long time ago. That was my favorite song. I told you we was going to go right back in circles here. And then everything is going through my mind, and I'm like, we're just going in circles of destruction. Let me see. Kind of wonder why, someone was talking about sheep and all the animals going in circles, even the ants, all the way down to the ants. They're all going in circles. You got to wonder, nature is trying to tell you something. Yep. We're going in circles here. Round and round we go. Crime is off the charts. No authority, of course, right? No authority, authoritism that they accuse Trump of being. But you need authority figure. You need people in position that are going to handle these things and stop these things and put it into a lot of the things that are going on. Put people under a control because you can't live and willy nilly and do the hell you want to do. You can't live willy nilly and do the hell you want to do. It just doesn't work like that. And, you know, the circle of abortion, you know, if you don't, the whole point is there's all kinds of things put out here to prevent you from having to go to someone to pull something out, pull all your insides out of your body and damn near kill you. But it's like we're not holding people accountable for their decisions and their actions, and no one is stopping it. They're just allowing it to go on and on and on. Same old thing over and over again. There's no authority. Authority prevents things, I think, from happening over and over again. That's what you need. I'm not vouching. Don't think I'm vouching for Trump. I'm just vouching for what he represents and stands for. Um, what he supports, and that's law and order and protection. And you know, when he was president, when the whole thing that was going on with the COVID, um, he was protecting the American people in many ways. He did everything he could. Um, he tried to protect the people who are here in the country by not allowing us overflow of immigration, to cut it down some. That's normal to want to migrate from place to place. But when it comes to running away from things in your country, seeking asylum and all this stuff, that's another thing, to me. And, you know, I, I understand seeking asylum, but we, as a people here in America, we didn't have that luxury of seeking asylum to another place. So I'm a firm believer standing up and fighting for your place where you live. And we're in modern days. There's no way that you should be allowing people to push you around and send you here and there. You stand up and fight to the death. That's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. That's what I will do. And I'm not just talking. I'm serious about what I just said. If I have to fight, I have to fight to the death. And I believe you should do that for where you live. If someone's trying to come and take over or trying to, not just because you don't like or you disagree with somebody, disagreements happen every day. You have to stand and face those and come to a compromise in some kind of way. You don't just leave the country because you disagree with someone's position on something. You stay and you change it. Uh-huh. Hold on. Hold on a second. And the problem is, you know, the people, like for Mexico, it's a prime example because there's so much in Mexico. There's so much, what they call it, turmoil. So much, the people, corruption. There's so much corruption over the people in Mexico. But the people just need to stand up, I think, for what is right. Things could turn around and change, especially for who they vote for in the country. If that person is not a law and order person and not trying to get rid of the corruption out of the government, out of the country, then that person needs to go. That person's not trying to help the country. That's with any country. But let's think about where all that stems from. All of that stems from the removal of the original people, the Bantu people, I call it. Us. Everything stems from something, you know. Everything stems from something. Hey, Mata. Hiya. And hi, Emmanuel. Thank you for being here. So, like I said, everything stems from something. Conditions happen because of an action that took place before, and now you're suffering from the reactions of everything. But in that same note, you have to fight. You have to fight for the place where you live and not run away. If you can't stand up and fight and you want something to just, you running away because some other people have opened up a country and made it great. The only reason why America's great is because of the Bantu people. Because of the Bantu people. So now everybody comes over here and want to eat from and drink from our cup. Eat from our plate and drink from our cup. And we don't have anything left over. It's kind of like my daughter today. I brought her some food and I ate a little pieces of my own food, but I wasn't able to eat the rest of it. So I set it on the stove until for later so I can come back and eat it. But she ate hers and she ate mine too. So you have dual citizenship. You have the capability of having the land great over there and then my land as well. That's greed. That's greed. And you would have to be held accountable for that because if you don't know your history and know that Asia, Europe, all the lands, all the lands on the planet belonged to the Bantu at one time until war, destruction, and all these other things come creeping through once again, again and again, bringing in all this energy of death and destruction. Like killing one to die early. They got mercy killings where if you're suicidal, you can go with the old folks who want to end their life from suffering and pain of old age. You can go to the angel of death and give up the ghost early because you don't want to face the turmoil, face what you have made for yourself in this reality. Um, so that's just my spiritual take on that part where, you know, people think that we got more smarter than the generation that came before us. That is far from the truth. Far, far, far from the truth. We missed out on a lot of critical information. So that doesn't make this generation or the future generation getting smarter. It doesn't mean they're getting smarter. It doesn't mean they're, it all depends. Are we allowing, the dumbed down situation? Do you allow it? Or are you trying to hold to some wisdom that you did gain from the elders before you? What if you were able to? It's a difficult thing, but like I said, I just I'm with um the brother I was listening to earlier, Dane Calloway. I'm with him on having a separate government, big time, because you can see what they're doing now. And, I'm not saying they won't be successful at it, you know, because the wicked is very, very crafty. If you want to do some wicked, evil stuff, that's not hard to do. It's a craft to being sneaky and manipulative and having people's minds believe something that didn't ever take place, and to put on a whole scene like December the 6th. I really firmly like I think it was January the 6th, forgive me, or was it December the 6th? I think it was December the 6th. I'm sorry. But I know in the hearts of hearts, when I was watching that whole fiasco, they were upset with Trump holding his rally. They knew he was holding a rally, so they had to pull an old Hollywood stunt, which I firmly believe it was. Because you don't, when we realize what we're dealing with, what we have here is we have people who should I call them powerful? I don't like to give them that. But let's say it like this, that have illusionary powers. I feel better with that. People who have illusionary powers that can really make things look like it is something, but it's not. For and kind of like what they do every day, with Trump's situation. That's why our people hate him so much. You can make people hate people. You can make people, like the television does so much powerful things to the mind, unfortunately. And it doesn't mean that it does bad things all the time. It doesn't mean it does good. For me, it did like a balance of it. So I wouldn't say it's, but I don't adhere to it too much these days anymore. You know, there's more important things than being in front of the TV. You know, unless you want it to put you to sleep, that's a different thing. So, um, as we can see, all the reasons why they don't want Trump in office anymore is because he's not going to play by the rules. The puppet. He's not going to be a puppet. He's going to be for the people, what the people say. And people say no abortions. People say they're tired of crime. People say they want closed borders, and right now America's looking like a whore because she's allowing so much in between her legs. So that's a definite problem. You have to be kind of critical about what you allowing in. Careful that you protect those that are living in that environment. You know what I'm saying? Hmm. So, all good things, it seems like he was representing getting rid of the Federal Reserve. Anytime, that's a death sentence right there. Trying to combat or go against the Federal Reserve, that's always going to be a touchy subject. So that's the problem. You see. But, now we should see. Now we should see everything clearly because there's no one out there that we can really trust. There's no one out there that we can. I'm serious about that. Not until that time comes when all is uh, when the minds and souls are healthy again, when the planet is healed. So until that time, what do we have to trust at this point? You know, what do they have? Either side, because not everybody, even the people that were around Trump, was for Trump, obviously, and that was obvious. You know, it may look like one thing, but you gotta see that it may not be what we think it is. That they may be just stringing him along, making him think that they are with him, but in the end, they're not. They're not. And it's kind of like, how do I say? I'm gonna have to get off of this pretty soon. Can't stay on too long. But I just wanted to come on and discuss this topic. Hopefully, I made some kind of clarity or some sense in my discussion the best way I could for you guys. But this is just what is coming from me, how I feel about things. Hmm. You know, how I see everything. You know, these people want to take us in circles. They had a couple years ago, they had people marching on Summer Bridge again, right? That is something that's done. We can't be stuck in certain things. We can't go back and be Moors. We can't go back and be Hebrews. We can't go back and be these things. We need to move forward. We need to find who we are truly in the name that says who we are. And I firmly believe Bantu. And or firmly know Bantu. And that is not a religious group. That is not God's chosen people. That is not a sect, but it's an identity. It's an identity. And we all derive from this. So, and it means belonging or relating to a group of peoples in Central and Southern Africa to originate from. So, family, let me get my children taken care of. So, with that said, this is just a little discussion of mine, getting things off my mind. So, with that said, true love, real peace, the higher self within the soul. Till next time, peace.